Thank you for tuning in to Music Marvels with Achickwitbeatz and Breezy Gipson. I am music producer Achickwitbeatz.
And entrepreneur Breezy Gipson right here.
And we're glad that you've joined us once again. We got another show lined up for you with music industry news, beats by yours truly. And you want to tell them about our special guest?
Oh, yes. This young man is blazing his own trail. He's really, on the bricks. He's walking and running, but he's got a compelling story he wants to share with us. The one and only Oshea.
Right, yes. And so definitely make sure that you stick around for that. All these goodies coming at you, And of course, we want to thank our home stations, Grander Radio out of Grand Rapids, Michigan, and Sparks Radio out of Atlanta, Georgia. Yeah, so without any further ado, we're going to go ahead and bring the show to you.
Hey, family, this is Breezy Gipson, social media influencer. If you're an aspiring artist or if you're a seasoned professional music artist and you have a music video that you want to share with a global television audience, your search is over. Whether it's jazz, rock, hip hop, Latino, gospel, pop music, country, house, techno, reggae, Hispanic, and other genres, this is the right spot. Whether you're located in the United States, Europe, Africa, South America, India, Mexico, Asia, Australia, Italy, or other countries, we got you covered. Contact me at getsparksnow@gmail.com. That's GETSPARKXNOW@gmail.com, or leave me a message at 678-632-2620. Let's get it together.
Hey, this is Achickwitbeatz. I am a multi-genre music producer and strategist to indie artists and labels. Visit my website, Achickwitbeatz.com, for resources for artists and instrumentals available in various genres for songs, vlogs, blogs, podcasts, themes, TV, film, commercials, and more. Once again, that's Achickwitbeatz.com, ACHICKWITBEATZ. Let's make something happen.
All right, we're back with music industry news. It's been some things going on, but most of the stuff that's been in the headlines have been things that we've already discussed. So, for one reason or another, they're starting to make their rounds again. But, we got some of the highlights of the actual new news, so to speak. And of course, we can talk about some of those things that you've kind of seen buzzing around. But to kick it off, the European Union has fined Apple nearly $2 billion for unfair practices amid Spotify's allegations. So Apple got hit with a $1.95 billion fine for not playing fair with other companies on its devices. Spotify complained that Apple limits competition by not letting users know about cheaper music services and forcing them to use Apple's payment methods. So, of course, Apple denies harming customers, but the EU disagrees. And so, for right now, as it stands, Apple must pay the fine and change its rules. But, of course, they plan to challenge the decision, arguing that there's no proof of harm. And it's basically accusing Spotify of benefiting unfairly. So, Spotify's CEO, of course, warns of dangers if big companies like Apple have too much control. And I'm sorry, but I just can't get over the irony with him saying that while independent artists are still fighting for royalties and to actually be paid more fairly from Spotify. So, it's kind of one of those things where it's just like, hey, you can't be the bully because we are. But, of course, we'll see how this actually turns out. With Apple challenging the decision, it could possibly go in their favor or things could stand as they are. But yeah, this is one of those things that we just kind of got to wait and see what happens. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, it's going to be like a mega face-off in the courtroom behind this thing. One lawyer team versus the other lawyer team. And these teams are massive attorney teams. So we'll see.
Yeah. Yeah, it really could go either way. I can't call it.
That will be interesting. Interesting to just be a fly on the wall that day.
Yeah.
Or those days. Yeah, those days.
Absolutely. So, of course, we'll keep you informed as that info does roll out. So, yeah, definitely keep it locked. All right. And U.S. lawmakers are targeting TikTok once again over alleged ties to the Chinese government. So, we know this has kind of been an ongoing thing, but they're ramping up with another bill. And so, TikTok has been facing scrutiny from U.S. lawmakers over its perceived ties to the Chinese government. A bill called the Protecting Americans from Foreign Adversary Controlled Applications Act. Man, that's a mouthful. But it specifically targets TikTok and its parent company, ByteDance, basically trying to get ByteDance to sell it because they want to sever ties between the app and entities that are controlled by what they're considering foreign adversaries. So lawmakers, including both Republicans and Democrats, of course, we know who's been more vocal, but they voiced concerns about TikTok's alleged threat to national security and propaganda, all that same stuff that they've been saying for a while now. But while the bill's passage into law might be kind of uncertain in the short term, depending on what happens with the U.S. election, there is potential for it maybe to gain more of a foothold, but we'll have to see what happens once again. Because, I mean, the seats in the House of Representatives are up too, so it depends on who's really in control. But, I mean, it's just one of those things that kind of shows you the dangers of groupthink. And once these theories kind of start to spread and take, hold, more and more people can kind of be convinced. And so I'd like to use this story to just highlight how important it is for you to do your own research and think your own thoughts instead of just parroting what everyone else is saying. Hopefully it doesn't actually take a hold because of how beneficial TikTok has been to the music industry, but that could be one of those reasons why. Who knows, it could actually happen in the future, but just something to be aware of, kind of have a heads up. So just in case, somewhere down the line this does actually happen, you have another backup plan for how you're going to highlight your music and get your stuff out there.
Well, it's a sad day that you even have to bring that topic up about having a backup for that. So
yeah,
we just have to, keep our fingers crossed on this one and see, just hoping that it falls in the proper way,
right?
Help the musician. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. So honestly, I really can't see it gaining that much traction, but just because we don't really know what's going to happen in November, you got to be prepared. All right. And this is one of those things, a lot of times you kind of hear people buzzing saying, oh, we don't hear about NFTs as much as you used to. And while that may be the case, it does not mean that they've been abandoned by the music industry whatsoever. So Coachella has partnered with OpenSea to introduce exclusive NFT passes for their festival experiences, especially for this year. But they've partnered with them to offer the exclusive digital passes. 3 collections will be released that each provide access to different perks like VIP areas and merch. The partnership is basically trying to enhance the Coachella experience by integrating NFTs into the ticketing and event access areas. So, it makes sense. It's a logical move, especially since they've been having trouble kind of moving some of these tickets to offer something that can help people kind of connect to it a little more personally, could actually kind of alleviate that. So I'm thinking that we might start to see more things like this as certain festivals struggle more than they have in the past. But as we know, the live music industry has still been going pretty strong. But yeah, even though, we might not hear as many of the major stories as we were initially when, there was a lot of buzz happening around it, definitely still something to pay attention to and to consider ways to maybe incorporate that into your music marketing.
Yeah, well, the fact that, some of them are suffering, you still got to circle back around to one of the roots of the issue, the ticket prices. Oh, my God.
Yeah. Yeah.
No need for me to even say anything about that. We all can tell whenever there's a hot concert coming, or even if it's not so hot, when you look to see, hey, let's check it out and see what it would cost to don't even finish your sentence. Oh man,
Right. What is the fascination with clicking on it anyway? I don't know why I keep doing that for certain things too. Like I already know my feelings are gonna be hurt. But yeah. Just like you say, it's like, oh, I wonder if
unless you got a buddy that can get you in and give you backstage passes and so forth, you're all good. But if you don't really know the entertainer, oh man,
Yeah.
So the travel expense to get there, the high prices for parking, the expense just to get into the venue, this, that, the other.
Yeah. What if you want to keep some memories, some merch? You got to add that on to it as well.
Wow.
Yeah.
Holiday season in July. The funds that you spend on that would be more or less like either a birthday or The holiday season in December. I mean, but yeah, something's got to be done. Something's got to be done. If it will be done, I don't know, but wow.
Yeah, I
But
think,
then but on the other hand, as long as people keep paying that, those
yeah.
high.
That's exactly what I was getting ready to say. Like, it depends, I mean, I've said it before multiple times. I'll say it again. Like, you basically vote with your dollars. So, yeah, like you said, as long as people keep doing it, then yeah, it's not going to change. But then if people, start to say, you know what, this is a little too steep, don't think I can do it, then that's when we'll start to see some changes. But yeah, for right now, and we've even said, before on the show that the Live Nation CEO said that that's one thing that people aren't cutting out. They'll make changes elsewhere in their life, but they'll make sure that they can still afford those tickets, to be able to get there and have something to post on social media.
Wow.
Yeah.
That happened.
Yeah, absolutely. And so yeah, that's pretty much it for what I have for the official news. It's actually new news, but definitely from social listening and seeing what's going on, there's been a lot of talk lately about artists who have been dealing with having their music taken down off of music platforms because they've been suspected of having bots ramp up their plays. And so the general consensus, and most people that have complained about this have actually said that they've been using DistroKid, and their music is either being taken down from Spotify or Apple, and in some cases both. And so what's happening is somehow these bots are getting a hold of some of these independent artist songs and adding them to playlists, just kind of masking it with others. So these artists actually have no control over this, but instead of removing the botted playlist, they're just removing the music of the actual artist. And so, I'm seeing more and more complaints about this. And if you've been following any of this online, you've seen it too. So definitely want to ask our listeners, if you've experienced this, please reach out, let us know. We'll have depending on what podcast platform you're listening to this on, or if you actually listen to it on the radio, you can hit us up on social media. But just kind of let us know like what your experience has been with this. If you've used DistroKid, if you've had problems with this, or if you use it and you haven't, but maybe you're worried about it. But yeah, definitely reach out and let us know what's going on. Yeah, I'm afraid that I'm seeing more and more of these cases where people have been talking about this happening to them. And so I'm thinking that we will have some official news on this at some point, just because the problem just seems to be kind of growing. So what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it does seem to be kind of growing, and we don't know where all of this is going to end up at.
Mm-hmm.
So, you just got to be diligent, keep your ears open, eyes open, look at statistics, see what the flow is, and just try to use your given intelligence to make your decision that fits you the best. So,
absolutely.
Could be or couldn't be, will or won't. I do, I don't.
Yeah. And what the simplest solution would actually be, but it doesn't exist, is a way for the artists to actually remove their songs from botted playlists. That's nothing that any of these platforms actually offer. So, people can make their own playlists all the time, but there's no recourse for the artist to say, hey, I don't want to be on this playlist. So it's really backwards that the artist is actually being punished for something that they may have had no control over and can't even report to say, hey, I didn't want to be here in the first place. So, that'd be the easiest solution, but yeah, we'll have to see what's going on. And like I said, I'm also really curious if there's anyone who's had this happen who doesn't use DistroKid. So far, I haven't seen that, but yeah, something shady's going on, and I'm not sure on which end or who's actually doing it. But yeah, just something to be aware of, and keep stuff like this in mind when you're actually looking for a distributor as well. So, you hear about the big ones all the time, and that's one of the most popular ones. But you do have options and alternatives that might suit you better, at least until this situation gets sorted out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, may have.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna take a quick pause for the cause, and then we'll be back with our special guest right after this.
Okay. Hey, family, this is Breezy Gipson, social media influencer. If you're an aspiring artist, or if you're a seasoned professional music artist, and you have a music video that you want to share with a global television audience, your search is over. Whether it's jazz, rock, hip hop, Latino, gospel, pop music, country, house, techno, reggae, Hispanic, and other genres, this is the right spot. Whether you're located in the United States, Europe, Africa, South America, India, Mexico, Asia, Australia, Italy, or other countries, we got you covered. Contact me at getsparksnow@gmail.com. That's GETSPARKXNOW@gmail.com, or leave me a message at 678-632-2620. Let's get it together.
Hey, this is Achickwitbeatz. I am a multi-genre music producer and strategist to indie artists and labels. Visit my website, Achickwitbeatz.com, for resources for artists and instrumentals available in various genres for songs, vlogs, blogs, podcasts, themes, TV, film, commercials, and more. Once again, that's Achickwitbeatz.com, ACHICKWITBEATZ. Let's make something happen.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Today we got, oh man, in the spot today with us is somebody who's blazing his own trail. I mean, in a big way. Young man who's doing a lot of things. He's ambidextrous. He's got a lot of stuff going on, but he's committed to his craft. And so without any further delay, we're going to bring to the stage the one and only Oshea. Oshea, what's up?
Yes, sir. What's up? What's up? How you doing?
We're doing well. We're doing well. And in our tradition, let's go ahead and open it up with the lady, Achickwitbeatz. You got it.
All right. Well, if you could just give us a little bit of background, who is Oshea? What kind of makes you tick? What sparked your interest for music and all that good stuff?
Oh man. Well, let's see. Who is Oshea? Oshea is a kid that grew up in California, LA area and whatnot, went through some serious hardships around 15, 16, and that brought me to be surrounded by music and to get me through a lot of those troubles. Needless to say, it saved my life. So I'm grateful to be here, grateful for what it's brought to me, and where I've been, what I got through, I had to get through to get here.
Yeah. Okay. Very impactful.
Yeah, it was quite an adventure. The first thing that brought me into music was from being homeless. My family was struggling. My parents were disabled and unable to work. So I had to, pick up the grind and start focusing on making sure that we had food. And it got to a point where things just kind of fell through and we lost everything. Went from basically having everything set up, 2 trucks, 3 cars, 2-story house and the college fund, to literally sleeping under trees.
Wow.
So it was quite a shift.
Yeah. And so you say that kind of helped propel you get into music.
I had a little like portable keyboard, and I used to like dive into making tunes and melodies on it. And then my mom's laptop, I used to always just kind of sneak it into my backpack and keep it with me. And I sat there and I pirated FL Studio and just started making beats and writing, and it really got me through a lot.
Wow, man, what a story.
Yeah. And so, very compelling story and very heartwarming story at the same time. There was a lot of tragicness going on, but you kept marching, you kept walking, and you found a way to get into, where your heart was, and your heart led you into music, and a little bit at a time. And so back then you were crawling with it, and then as time went by, you started catching speed with it, and better, and it was helping you as a person, helping your personality, helping everything, on that end. And so,
without a doubt,
once you felt and found that it was helping you, did you just slow down with it, or did you just be?
No, I never slowed down with it. So it was one of those things where I never looked at it like it was gonna be, a career goal or anything like that at first. It was just kind of getting me through the troubles. But then when I had a couple of people that were hearing my stuff and they're like, nah, you really need to try to get something, done with it. I started like trying to find out how I could push it. Be it I know a lot of people are like, oh, you got to send your stuff into the labels to get heard and this and that, or make a video go viral and stuff like that. And that's not really what you got to do. It's like, why not just dive into seeing about getting it onto those platforms yourself? Why do I have to look into somebody else doing it for me?
Right.
So I looked into distributors and found a way to get my stuff out there myself. Registration with BMI, ASCAP, all that, Sound Exchange, and went through TuneCore because I was following an artist named Russ, and he was his independent rise has always been one of those things I followed, and just kind of went the same route with that. And when I found those capabilities to put it out, I said, why not? Why stop here? You start pushing even more. Started looking over for venues and promotions for shows and stuff, and reaching out to see what I could do to get locked in somewhere. And slowly but surely found my footing, met some amazing people along the way, and now things are starting to really, take a good shift in the right direction. And I'm excited for what's to come.
Wow. Not a lot of people, once they're told something like that, actually take the initiative to figure out how to do it themselves, with them saying, oh, you need a record label and da da da. I think that's very incredible that you recognize that you didn't need to do all that to get started. And I just kind of want to commend you on that. That's pretty awesome.
The biggest thing that helped me with that was seeing a lot of upcoming artists and stuff that were so talented and had so much potential, but then to find that they signed such a terrible deal and now they're locked in, not being able to put their music out and not being able to control what they're doing. And I'm just like, that's no way to live. Right. Regardless of if you're getting paid and being called a music artist under a label, what good is it if you have no ability to make music?
Right. 100%.
Wow. Well, on our show since day one, or even before day one, we always would talk, spend some time, just telling our listeners or those who are involved in the industry, always surround yourself with people who are competent and capable to give you the correct and professional advice about different things like that. I mean, hey,
don't be afraid to ask questions.
There you go.
There's so many people out there with knowledge that you don't have, and everybody can give you something. You know what I mean? You could be walking up the street and meet somebody on the road that could give you some lifelong knowledge that you're gonna keep with you till you die. But you never know. Everybody's got something to give.
Right. Because they're just countless. It just never stops. It's just countless numbers of folks who they're saying the same thing. Oh man, I wish I could get out of this deal. I wish I could. Oh my gosh. So
there's a way.
Yeah, just don't get in it.
Yeah, but even then, if you're in it, there are definitely ways out. You just got to be able to, put in the work, be willing to put in that grind, do what you got to do to find your way.
Okay, so
I prefer to stay out of the deals.
Okay, yeah. So as you were coming along, okay, let's talk about the age realm of 1920, 21. Okay. Now, how are you feeling about your craft then in that realm?
Oh, in the 1920s, timeless. I feel like I could still have a sound that's going to be timeless in that. That's one of my biggest things I feel like I pride myself on, is the versatility. You put me on any sort of sound, any sort of music tone, and I'm going to be able to hit it in some sort of way, and deliver some sort of vibe. So I would say you put my music in the 20s, shoot, it'll do just as much of a vibe as it is today.
Okay. That's a real innovative type of answer to our listeners out there. And so now, as far as the listeners are concerned, the musicians out there, the people who really want to, hey, they're anxious to do something in music, but they're hesitant or they're scared at the same time. What kind of word would you give to those who are just straight scared to step forward with what they feel is a talent?
Well, I mean, I guess that's what life is in general, right? It's a constant battle between the fear of taking the next step. Either you're going to take that next step or you're going to sit back and hold yourself back. it's up to you to get out of your own way. I mean, fear is the ultimate enemy. You know what I mean?
Okay, okay. Achickwitbeatz, what you got?
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty spot on. And there's so many different ways that, kind of fear can prevent people from doing things. So, the advice to just kind of get out of your own way just applies to so many different facets of life, especially for independent artists. But yeah, talking about your love for music, are there any particular artists or people that you were around that you felt like your sound kind of, you gravitated towards their sound and you feel like it may have helped shape what you do today?
It's really weird because I grew up on a lot of like everything from classics to more modern music. My first CD was, as funny as it is, a Linkin Park CD. So I went from rock to Eminem to what was it I had next? Oh, I can't even remember my next CD because I just started pirating stuff. I was so bad as a kid. I would say right now, when it comes down to it, there's no particular artists that like music wise specifically that I'm like aiming to try to gravitate towards. But there are definitely plenty of artists out there where my sound has meshed really well with, and I felt like I could definitely collab with and find some serious magic on in the studio with the way that our sounds go. But I'd say I'm too one of a kind to really say there's one specific artist or any specific artist that I gravitate towards to, inspire my specific sound.
So like no one you kind of grew up listening to that, you thought maybe I can do this when I grow up type thing.
No, like, well, Eminem was the first one that, a lot of kids started up on with the hip hop scene with rapping and stuff like that. So for me, it was Eminem. You had 50 and G Unit. You had all of them that was going on. I was listening to Andre and I would just vibe with all of their. I think the big thing that fell with me was music that had a story and had an actual meaning behind it. That was the biggest thing that I've gravitated towards. I can't really get down with a lot of the music that doesn't have a what does that say? It doesn't have substance. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You've got sound, but you don't have substance. Body like a Coke bottle, but nothing inside. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Type.
Okay, so now let's envision yourself walking into a recording studio, for the first time. I mean, this particular studio for the first time. And so now name off for our listeners two pieces of equipment in this studio that when you see these two pieces of equipment, you're at home. You got something to work with. You got a handle because you see this and because you're familiar with them.
First off, any type of microphone. Just give me a microphone and interface, and as long as I've got that with a laptop, I can figure something out. You got it. That's all you need, really. A laptop, a microphone, and an interface. And the reason I say interface is you don't need a giant mixer with a bunch of knobs and stuff like that. You can get something that's just going to power up your microphone and be able to record the sound into there. You can do that with programs. That's all over. So a microphone. Give me a microphone and I'm good.
Okay. And so now, do you feel that because of the journey that you've been through with the equipment that you've had a while back, do you feel that to a certain extent that can be, even though it may have been a disadvantage then, as you have progressed now, would you feel that it's turned into an advantage?
Oh man, I don't think there's really such a thing as an advantage or disadvantage aside from having access to certain resources and people. Everything that you have, there's ways to make it work regardless. So I wouldn't say there's anything that's turned into an advantage, just like there's nothing that's turned into a disadvantage.
Well, see, that right there is a charge. It's a charge up for a lot of folks out there that are listening, because that's saying, hey, I actually, I want I may want this, But to make it happen, I really don't need all of that. Just I can do it with the basic bones and make something happen, make something appear, make something work. Yeah. So yeah. Okay. Okay.
100%.
Go ahead.
Nice. So, can you tell us what's in the immediate pipeline for you? Like some projects that you're currently working on, about to drop, all that good stuff?
Man. Okay, projects I'm about to work on and drop on. I have a listening party going on in Tampa at the end of March. Starting at the end, actually starting March 1st, I'll be dropping new music. The first song that's going to be dropping March 1st is a duet I have with another local artist. Her voice is absolutely phenomenal. Her name is Kat Hines. And her and my voice was just one of those that meshes extremely well, and I freaking love it. I'm also going to be doing a show with Duffy in Atlanta. So I've got that going on, and Duffy has been a huge help. He's practically a brother to me. At this point, with him and his wife, they've just done such an amazing support team and been able to, give us so many gems and stuff. It's been great. And just like all these connections and stuff that I'm making, the people that I'm meeting, it's been phenomenal. I met Mike Breezy. He's the engineer producer for Boozy Badass. I was able to meet him. I met DJ B Moss. We were able to set up a thing where I've gone to one of his shows to perform out in New York in April. I've met a couple other artists along the way. We've got a bunch of collabs coming in from all sorts of different states. There's so much. I can keep going. Oh, it's endless.
That's great.
Well, you're definitely upbeat. Okay, that's a plus right there from the jump, and because that just gives people a little bit of pizzazz where they can snap their fingers in a certain way. It can bounce with you, can relate to what your journey has been about and what it is now, and there's no drag in your tag. Okay, you're coming you're coming along. So okay, so now you talked about traveling with your folks and stuff like that to do these shows, and so now here we are, brand new year. We're 2 months in. Okay, so now what do you see yourself involved with going on? Let's fast forward to let's say July, 4th of July. So from July all the way through Thanksgiving. Okay.
July through Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Oh, fingers crossed I'll be able to quit my job and focus on music.
Okay.
That's the big goal, is I wanted to do that this year. But more so than ever, I see so many more collaborations, so many more shows and touring. I want to go around and as many places as I can and meet as many people as I can. I don't see it stopping from there. I see a bunch of music being constantly released and getting better with social media engagement and marketing, which has been my biggest downfall, my biggest weakness, I guess you could say. And I'm looking to change all that and fix my tune and grow from there.
Well, it can be done, so
100%.
Just keep marching, right, Achickwitbeatz?
Absolutely. Agreed.
So now, all right, so that's what's going on between now and November. And so, I mean, oh yeah. From when you first got going, I know you mentioned Eminem and, people of that nature and some of the DJs and whatever. Okay, but now, when you were first cranking up, was there anyone out there, or were there any folks that really did pull you to the side? I know you said some folks said, hey, you need to go farther with this, but was there any 2 or 3 folks that really inspired you yourself to get on your horse and ride with it?
Oh man, that's a tough question. Man, that's real tough.
Well,
oh man, you got me thinking now. Oh. Who in the oh man.
That's okay. That's okay. We're not trying to put you on the spot. We're not trying to put you on the spot because
No, but it's a good question. It's a great question. You know, it's really thought provoking, and I love that. I really like diving into thoughts like that. I just wish that I could have somebody that pop up in my head, you know, instantaneously. But
yeah.
um,
Okay.
man,
Okay.
I really.
Because one thing we don't want you to do is name one or two, and then as soon as the interview's over, you're like, "Oh man, I wish I had
Well,
said
that's
this."
usually always how it goes. You know what I mean? Hindsight's 2020.
Yeah.
Right.
I will say though, there was one person though when I first started getting into recording and really trying to do this independent music stuff like that. I had my buddy Dylan. Um, I talk to him here and there, but not too often as much. He's now out in Texas, got a family and wife and everything. He's since then. But he and I started doing the music and recording the stuff on a constant, and he was always one that consistently told me like don't stop. And the fact that he was constantly doing it, it kind of kept pushing me to do it, and eventually like I started doing it even more, I guess. But yeah, he was. I would say that would probably be the one person that definitely, without a doubt, pulled me to the side and kept pushing
That would
me.
be Dylan, right? Dylan.
Yeah,
Okay. Okay. Well, look,
Dylan Bermudez.
the clock is starting to face us in the wall a little bit, so we're gonna let a chick with beats. You got a question before we start winding this down?
It's actually just more of a comment, but yeah, just thank you for coming on and sharing your story with us and how you got started and persevered through so many things to get to the level that you're at. And we're excited for where you're heading and just wish you all the best. And of course, we'd love to have you back on again the show.
Oh, much
some
love.
other
I would
time.
love to be back for sure.
Yeah.
So,
Okay. So now, share your platforms and how people can follow you and that kind of thing, or if you have something that they can purchase from you or whatever. So how do they keep up?
Yeah, definitely. So you could catch me on most platforms. You could find me as Oshea First. That's OSHEA FIRST. You can find that on IG, and usually everything else is kind of linked from there. Also, if you ever want to buy any merchandise and whatnot, currently you can get it from HastyBros.com. HASTYBROS.com. That's my own website, little brand that I've been building for a few years. But so there's a few different clothing options on there, but I do have my own personal merch up there as well.
Okay. Okay. All right then. Well, it looks
I'm
like
also, I'm sorry, I'm also on all platforms, so you can catch me on Spotify, Pandora, iTunes, you name it, Amazon, Music, iHeartRadio, all that jazz.
okay. Okay. Well, it looks like you got something going, something you got it together right there. So, well, we're looking forward to you coming back and maintaining the conversation. Let us know what's up
Oh yeah,
the
would
next
love
time
to.
down the road and so on and so forth. And so you think that a chick with beats has already brought that up. So the door is open for you to come back and we really truly thank you. And I know our listeners love being inspired because you brought a lot of inspiration today.
Hey, much love, much love. I appreciate y'all for giving me the opportunity, to be up in here, and be able to put my story out. Give me another chance to get my voice heard.
But we want you back. We want you back.
I will be back without a doubt, without a doubt. This ain't the last time y'all heard from me, without a doubt.
Okay.
yeah.
Look, you've heard the voice of the one and only Oshea, and you can find him on IG at Oshea First. Is that correct?
Yeah, Oshea First.
Oshea First. Okay. So Oshea, hey, we wish you all the best, and so looking forward to you coming back. And you the man.
Much love. Y'all have a wonderful night.
You too. All right, that does it for this episode of Music Marvels with Achickwitbeatz and Breezy Gipson. Once again, we thank you for joining us. We thank our home stations, Grander Radio out of Grand Rapids, Michigan, and Sparks Radio out of Atlanta, Georgia. And, again, super shout out to our guest, Oshea. It was really great to have him on. And I'm already looking forward to next week. How about you?
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, we're getting in the season. We're getting into a flow. So, not to say anything less of the other guests that we've had because it's all been spectacular. And so, hey, this time of year, stuff starts popping. Weather's changing, and the snow is eased. It's gradually. The cold weather is gradually getting out of here, even if it is at a slow pace. And heck, just 2 days ago, there, I mean, I feel for California, man. There was so much snow the tractor trailers couldn't even get through. You know, I mean, it just stuck on the highways, man. And I was like, what is going on? But nevertheless, the show goes on. Ain't that right?
Absolutely.
Yep.
Always. All right. So till next time, you know where to find us. Tune in, tell a friend. We'll see you then. Peace.
Peace.